Alright, I'm going to be talking to you today about the social change model. The social change model consists of the 8 C's of leadership. I know most of you might know it as 7 C's, but I decided to add one of my own. So the social change model is basically a set of guidelines to help leaders like RAs to be able to make change in their community. I'm going to help you understand the social change model by breaking the 7 main C's up into 3 different categories: individual values, group values, and community values. So with your individual values, you have commitment, consciousness of self, and congruence. Commitment is pretty self-explanatory. If you're involved in an activity or say a club, you need to be able to put 110% into that so that everyone knows that you're enjoying what you're doing and you're committed and people can count on you. Then there's consciousness of self. Consciousness of self is basically just being aware of your values and your morals and realizing how you incorporate them into your daily leadership role. So for me, I value relationships. It could be between your family, between friends, between strangers, but I really value meeting new people, and it motivates me to take action and really get involved with things. So I tell myself every day that, Brandon, you got to meet 3 new people today, and then that motivates me to go out and do things in the world. So that the third C in the individual value category is congruence. Congruence is basically just being consistent with your values. So let's say that I value recycling, and I tell everyone to recycle, and they're like, okay, Brandon values recycling. But they see that on Wednesdays I recycle, but on Thursdays I don't recycle. That's not being congruent. You have to make sure that you're showing your values in your daily leadership role. Now we're on to the group values. The group values kind of go in order of how they play out. There's first collaboration, then there's controversy with civility, and then there's common purpose. So collaboration is when you have a group of people coming together to work towards a common goal. Now all these people, they think they have like a shared interest and they want to work towards this goal, but they don't have a common purpose yet. So after collaboration, there's controversy with civility. Controversy with civility is basically having everyone share their unbiased opinions so that you can work towards this common purpose. And the common purpose is going to help you reach your endpoint goal. So once you have controversy with civility, then you reach the common purpose. And the common purpose is just something that everyone agrees on, everyone feels comfortable with, and it's something that's going to motivate them to do work. Those are the group values. And then we have the community value, which is citizenship. There's a lot of different things that you can do to be a citizen. I think a lot of people have a different idea of what it is. But I think that as long as you think you're making a positive change in your community, then that makes you a citizen. As long as you care enough to do something to make a change in your community, you're a citizen. Now I'm going to talk to you about the 8th C of leadership, which I made up. Now my 8th C is common sense. And I picked this value actually based on the paraprofessional staff interview that I did about 2 weeks ago. I interviewed Michael Yates, the complex coordinator of governors, and I interviewed him on consciousness of self. And I asked him what his values were. He gave me a list, and then I asked him to pick one that was the most important. And he said, common sense. And that kind of took me by surprise, because I thought really important guy like Michael Yates was going to use collaboration or something really fancy as his biggest value. But he picked something as simple as common sense. And that kind of made me think that when you're in stressful situations, you can't always rely on what you've learned in a book about leadership to help you get through it. But sometimes you have to just sit back and use a little common sense. And that's why I picked common sense. Now, you're probably wondering how I'm going to use all that I've learned in my next year's RA position. Well, I've already made up an event which kind of incorporates all of these C's together. So I really value recycling, and I want to do a recycling not really a program, but a competition, friendly competition in the beginning of the year. So I'm going to have groups of residents on my floor, and they're going to be competing against each other to see who can recycle the most by the end of the week. And then I'll have a pizza party. So this is motivating all my residents to be citizens, number one. Recycling is being a citizen because it's taking care of your community. And since it's something I value and I'm working towards that and showing it in my role, that's consciousness of self, because I know I value it, so I'm using it to motivate myself and others to make a change. And that change is recycling more. Then there's congruence. Obviously I'm being congruent and everyone else is, because they're being consistent with what they're doing. They're all recycling. Then you're definitely going to have some controversy with civility. Some people might think that they'll win this way, and another person might think that they'll win this way. But eventually they will all find a common purpose, and whoever works the best together will win. And then there's commitment. The team that's committed the most will win. So that's my event that I plan for next year based on what I learned in this class. And obviously I'll be using a lot more than just the recycling event to show what I've learned. But I made my HC common sense, and I'm going to be using what I learned next year in a recycling event and much more. So that's my TED Talk. Thank you very much.